What is up, people? Sick Man here on a chilled, laid-back Sunday afternoon with House Lasku checking in on the Stanford NBA. We're just going to chat through a couple of things, mainly the Timberwolves Sixers matchup, which was a crazy game last night. I set up to watch it. But before we speak about that, I'm feeling like LeBron James, Ed. I'm feeling like the L train. I'm taking L's all over the place. I mean, the Sixers lost. The Sooners lost, Palace lost. The only saving grace is the Eagles. But we know what happens there. But yeah, I think let's get on and talk about this game. So the Sixers played Timberwolves last night, and it went to double overtime. First game with Joel Embiid back in the lineup. Thank the Lord he's back. But there's so much going on. To speak about what happened previous to the game is that apparently Ben Simmons was at Wells Fargo putting up shots. Some guy snuck in with a camera. He took like a 15-second recording. Yeah.
I wasn't there.
But no, we're not blaming it on you, but he literally took a 15-second recording. He was with like four people. He was practicing jump shots. Surprise, surprise. And then the camera went down. It was real suspect. And the sentiment online between the Philly fans is that Philly started really slow in this game, and they were like, "Great, the Ben Simmons curse." Even when he's near the team, he's somewhere in the building. There's some sort of curse. We managed to put it back in the second half, and this game, man, I don't even know. Maybe you want to put some input, but this game was so back and forth, and I was just watching it, and there was that point where I was like, yes, we've got this in the bag. And then something would just happen. And I was like, oh, I actually have no idea. So, yeah, tell me what you think first.
It was really cool to watch. Like seeing Joel Embiid be Joel Embiid is such a fun matchup. And I really look forward to seeing the Embiid Jokic matchups, just because obviously the two most elite big men in the league, and seeing those sort of like, it feels like a gladiator battle at times, seeing those two like go up against each other. But I digress on that bit. Yeah, some of the shots that Embiid was making, some of the shot making from Philly was super, super cool. And the Timberwolves aren't, again, I've been on Timberwolves bandwagon for a little bit. They're not as bad as you think they are. I think they're now 10-10, if I'm not mistaken, after that
they
win.
Are. Yeah.
And one of the things I've been tracking, Alex, as you know, is the Orlando starting lineup and how efficient it's been and its net rating.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some developments on the overall net rating. So obviously the number one net rating team previously was the Knicks bench unit, and Orlando was second. I was having a look this morning. Guess which lineup is now number one in net rating?
Can't be the Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves lineup.
Wow.
Let me give you the lineup. So the only thing is that they've played 92 minutes together. So this is compared to, for example, to be fair, the Knicks one's like 89 now. And the Orlando one's dropped off a little bit because of Cole Anthony's injury. But anywho, 92 minutes together in 10 games. They've got the best offensive rating in the league and the second best defensive rating in the league. Overall net rating of 48 points. And the lineup is Patrick Beverley, Russell, Towns, Vanderbilt, and Edwards. Best starting lineup in the league at the moment. Yeah, what do you think about that?
I mean, when I was watching the game last night, it seemed like a lot of things are actually going against the Timberwolves. Because if you look at the free throw numbers, see Embiid actually got Towns and Naz Reid fouled out, who are their two big men.
That's their biggest issue. That's their biggest issue, fouls.
But I mean, there was a couple of fouls where I was like, yeah, he got him on the arm. But the sixth foul, Tobias got his offensive rebound and went up. And Towns was pretty much straight up. And he went to the bench and he was livid. And you can see why it's a close game. Like they obviously, him and Embiid, they enjoy their battles together.
Yeah.
And yeah, Embiid gets a lot of superstar calls. And whenever he goes to the basket, he never has to make a shot because, there's a foul to bail him out. And you just saw how good he was in the mid-range, man. He would just face up and it's money. And there's nothing you can do. But Deandre Russell, I want to give a shout out to him because he played extremely well in that game, man. He what's really interesting about him is that he doesn't use a lot of legs in his shots. he's very grounded when he shoots. And when you're talking about like somebody in the crossover, Isaiah Thomas talks about being in the box. Deandre Russell's moves are very much in sync, like in a short window. So when he crossed up the fire ball a couple of times, which I was really impressed with, and drained the three, I was like, wow, like when he's rolling, there's not really much you can do. And it just shows the depth of the NBA talent. And he won them that game. He got the steal with with Maxi's pass, which I'm not going to dog on him because I think he's done so well, but it's annoying that we turn over the ball when we're up one. Deandre Russell gets the steal, and then Prince makes a great layup. So I'm not mad. Like they really wanted that game, and I was like, fair play. You've come into Philly. A lot of things have gone against you. The Drummond tip in as well. You almost won the game, and then you came back. So yeah, it was a really fun game. Really fun.
I really liked the one of D'Angelo's threes where he took a little jab step and like a little move after, and Matisse went for it. He went for it, and
he was cooking him. He was cooking it.
And this is, everyone obviously rates Matisse Thybulle as one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and really feel peace for D'Angelo because he's been through a little bit. You thought it was all going well for him in Brooklyn, then he got shipped out to Minnesota, but yeah, I'm rooting for Minnesota, although my teams are doing shit, but enough. I digress. So overall now, how are you feeling about the Sixers? 20 games in compared to where you were at the start of the season?
I still think it's fine, man. Embiid's just come back. We play your boys next, actually, funny enough.
Monday,
So I'll be annoyed if we don't win that. And it was Embiid's first game back, and, no conditioning. The man dropped 42, 14. 3 assists, still in 2 blocks. Yeah, he had he didn't win the game, but I mean, he's great, man. He's just, the fans love him, and I'm hoping he's going to be a Sixer for life. He suits our city, I think.
It is nice for him to have that, but I would love to see him in the finals though once. Obviously not at the expense of Orlando, but I think it would be really fun to see what he can do in the finals matchup. All the touches he would get, and everything just running through him again. I think it would be super, super fun. What are your expectations for the playoffs? Let's take 2 actually. Where do you expect to finish? What seed are you hoping to finish? And then how do you reckon? How are you feeling for the playoffs? Because the East, it seems stacked.
It does seem stacked, but I still think I'd still take us over the Bulls. We're doing really well.
Really?
Yeah, I just think we're a big matchup problem for them at the center position. I think Embiid, and we beat them twice this season as well.
That is fair.
So
that is fair.
I'm happy with our matchup, and the playoffs is all about matchup. If I'm looking at it, I think if I'm being really happy, I would like us to be a top 3 seed, that's going to be tough to do because there's a lot of good teams. Bucks are going to start to reel off some wins. The Heat are there. The Nets, even though they booed Harden last night, they're going to be good. What do you think about Philly? Because we're at 500 right now. So
I haven't seen too much because they're not one of my teams. Unless they're playing one of my teams, I might catch a bit of them. But I can't really say too much about them compared to other teams. One thing I was going to ask you is, so I was just thinking about the Bulls Philly matchup. It feels like the best way to limit Embiid's production is to limit how often he gets the ball and limit his distribution or how much the ball gets sent to him. And I think Chicago should be able to do a good job of denying entry passes to Embiid. They've got some real good players who can defend on the wing and try to deny those entry passes to him, no?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've got Caruso, who's getting a lot of media spotlight as well because of his ball denials. And Lonzo's playing really well, but I actually disagree with you. I didn't like what Embiid did in the post. When he got double teamed and they sent a lot of attraction. He wasn't the best. He still needs to improve on it, and I guess that is tough. But I think Vooch can't guard him. Yes, they've got who's their backup? We used to have him, Tony Bradley. He's okay. Maybe he has a bit of intel, but I don't think the Bulls have an elite player, an MVP caliber player.
I'm not having that.
I think Embiid is. I think Embiid is a tier above. DeRozan's playing really well.
I think he would be top 20. I think DeRozan would be top 20.
Yeah, so
Which
and
okay.
that's, I think Embiid, if he plays well, he can win the series for us. But man, that'd be a great matchup to see.
Last couple points from my side. Firstly, that tip in by Drummond for the free throw. We tried to do something similar. I think it was Cole. I can't remember if it was Cole or Jalen Suggs did it, but they went for the throw it at the rim, throw it at the
Yeah,
front rim and try to get the rebound. Completely flops, missed everything, just hit off the backboard. The Maxi one, super, super nice. And then Drummond again. You got two fucking 7-footers there.
yeah.
Tips in, love it, great play. Secondly, no word on Anthony Edwards. Are you gonna address anything about Anthony Edwards, or are we just gonna
From what I saw
nothing to
from
say?
him, he was yeah, he was okay. Like he missed the
Fair.
game winner at regulation. He's a cool personality. I mean, Timberwolves, they've got a British coach, haven't they? So I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about Timberwolves. Like it, in this league, right? You've got to be really good or you're really bad. And 10-10 is a really good. It's a successful season for them, which is it says a lot because nobody wants to be middle of the pack, right? But they're playing a lot better, and you can tell like there's more continuity in the team, which is good, and it shows that any game is hard to win.
And I'm not sure about you, but I think a lot of the credit does go to the NBA for having this whole play-in tournament and how every team wants to be competitive. Every team now really seems to, unless you're super tanking, which only feels like a couple teams. But even the Magic, I don't think we're super tanking either. We've got our two highest paid players, our two most important players are both injured. And now Cole Anthony also got injured. The best player starting the year is injured. We've got 5 players right now who are either sophomores or rookies. And the sophomores count as rookies as well, to be fair, because they never had any training camp or anything like that either. So we have the youngest starting lineup ever in NBA history. So I think that's just like a unique circumstance. But Houston are doing their thing, not playing John Wall, all that fun stuff. OKC are doing their thing where I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But even I think Detroit, they really competitive, and they obviously gave quite a few teams some scares or like seem to be pretty good. So, but those are the 3. Apart from everyone else seems to want to win. Apart from those 3.
Yeah. Also, last point, I'd actually take Cade for Ben Simmons. I think I'd
Why would
actually
Detroit
take
do
that.
that? Detroit
No,
would
well,
never do that.
dude, we're clutching at straws here, man. I'm trying to get a deal somehow.
Well, you
Please.
Darren Moy, you're trying to call up all the others. Hey, can you give us Cade? Do you reckon Cade? There was a trade rumor I heard recently. I think it may have been on Zach Lowe's podcast. There was one about I can't remember who it was about. Whatever. I can't remember who it was about. Oh, how about this? Would you take a swap for Karl Anthony Towns for Ben Simmons?
No.
I love seeing double big man, like 2 big man lineups, because Cat can space the floor as well. He can space the floor as well. He's arguably the best 3-point shooting big in the league. Well, elite big in the league.
No.
You're not a big fan of it.
He's number 1 pick, Ed, man. High expectations. He's just, the furthest he went was with Jimmy. That says all, man.
I think that's part of your problem, because you're looking at him as the number 1 pick. Don't look at him as that. Just look at him as Karl Anthony Towns, the player. I think that's also where a lot. I think I saw someone say that about Andrew Wiggins. Stop looking at Andrew Wiggins like the number 1 pick. He's not that anymore. He's just Andrew Wiggins, plug and play guy, 3-and-D. That's what he is now. Don't. I think you're looking at it the wrong way. No,
he had a tough season, so I don't hate him as much as Bray, but I just think that there's a small margin for error. So if his career, he's going to be a 500 team and an 8 seed, and he was a number 1 pick, I would say I'm pretty sure he would be very disappointed with that as his standout point for his career.
Yeah, cool, but that's something else. That's a completely different conversation, whether he's disappointed, whatever. I'm just talking about a straight swap for Ben Simmons for Karl Anthony Towns. And who would actually have to give up more? Do you reckon Philly would have to give up more, or Minnesota would have to give up more?
For Karl Anthony Towns, and I don't think Minnesota want to get rid of Towns.
No, just general. Like,
I think we would just have to give up more. Like, we're just in a really bad place right now.
yeah.
Like, nobody wants it. But yeah.
Anyway, enough Philly chat for now. I don't want to hear about Philly for another month.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Philly.
To be fair, we can talk about them next week if you want. If you get smacked up on Monday, so
I
wouldn't mind that. Huh?
Not going to happen.
Cool.